Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on Sunshine Report. I'm Jane Aino. Members of Ondo State Chapter of Radio, Television, Theatre and Arts Workers Union of Nigeria, RATAU, have voted new executives to pilot affairs of the union for the next 3 years. Comrade Kayode Olorunfemi of OSRC Chapel was elected and returned as chairman of the union with 40 votes to defeat his closest challenger, who scored 10. Said Aribisa reports that the 8 new executive members, including OSRC's Betty Reuben Ayodele, who emerged as auditor of the union, have been sworn in. The challenges confronting residents of Akure, the Ondo State capital, over affordable housing is being addressed with the kickoff of the Alpha 3D Phase 1 Irese housing estate at Irese in Ifedore local government area of the state. This is an initiative of Ondo State government in partnership with Alpha 3D Limited, a company jointly owned by the state government and CITEC, aimed at addressing housing deficit in the state. Our reporter, Joy Pius, reports that over 100 housing units have been completed in the estate. The report.
According to the United Nations World Population Prospects, Nigeria's 2022 population stands at over 216 million, or 2.53% increase from 2021 figures, and its urban population accounts for about 50% of its total population. The population drift to urban centers has increased demand for housing, and the burden of acquiring affordable shelter explains the housing deficit, which has risen from 17 to 20 million in 2021. Government and private organizations over the years continued to work assiduously at ensuring the housing gap is bridged. Several of such efforts have been recorded in Ondo State under the present administration. Latest is the acquisition of a large expanse of land at Irese in Ifedore local government, spanning 57 hectares, which will accommodate about 260 housing units for estate purposes by Alpha 3D, a company jointly owned by the Ondo State government and CITEC. The Executive Director of Business Development for Alpha 3D Limited, Prince B. Oroye, while taking Osrc on a tour of the completed units, said Alpha 3D Phase 1 Irese housing estate is strategic to providing affordable housing services for the people of Ondo State, adding that over 100 units have been completed, while expressing confidence that the 260 housing units would be delivered by the end of this year. According to Poroye, flexible payment schemes have been drawn to enable affordability for residents.
The governor pleaded with the management that they should give us services that can be approachable by anybody and for all levels. Now the 2-bedroom detached is going for 12.5 million naira. The semi-detached is going for 12 million naira. The 3-bedroom is going for 14 million naira. While the detached is going for 14.5 million naira. How do you pay? Very easy. All that you need to move to your house is just to pay the 25%. Once you pay 25%, which is 3.5 million, the key to your house will be handed over to you.
The project has also created an avenue for youths to engage in skilled and unskilled labor.
It's not about just having a building. It's a duty of the management to give you electricity. It's a duty to ensure that the road is asphalted. By all means, talking to partners, talking to friends, and we're achieving that. It's also the vision of the MD that each building will have its gas pipe attached to. He's already talking to investors in that regard.
The infrastructures expected in the estate include street lights, recreational facilities, roads, shopping malls, schools, school, police posts, among others. The housing estate, when completed, would help reduce the whopping figures of housing deficits in Ondo State and provide succor for residents. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Now taking this again, members of the Ondo State chapter of Radio, Television, Theatre and Art Workers Union of Nigeria, RATAU, have voted new executives to pilot affairs of the union for the next 3 years. Comrade Kayode Olorunfemi of Osrc Chapel was elected and returned as chairman of the union with 40 votes to defeat his closest challenger, who scored 10. Zaida Ripsa reports that the 8 new executive members, including OSRC's Betty Ruben Ayodele, who emerged as auditor of the union, have been sworn in.
Well, I feel happy and I feel it is a challenge for me to work again. And I know I cannot get anything done if not being approved by God. And I know even winning this election is because God is by my side. And I promise my people that they will still see more. We are planning, by the grace of God, to build an edifice here, which will be called a secretariat.
I will implore the new executives that they should do well, because people have they have this trust in them. That was why they voted for them. So I will just charge them not to disappoint the electorate, the voters, the delegates that vote for them, and ensure that all their promises that they've made, they should not renege on it, so that we can move RATAU to a greater level.
I thank my delegates for having confidence in me, for occupying this post again, and I pray I won't disappoint them, because I have to support the vision and mission of the chairman to carry RATAU Ondo State to greater heights.
So I will postly the chairman. It's all because he started with good job. Up to this level, he has been doing good job. I will advise him and his member of executive to continue to strive further in order to make sure that welfare of our members are taken care of. Because welfare is the priority of members.
Now, away from that, a suspected fraudster ran out luck when he attempted to defraud a POS attendant of 50,000 naira in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Nabbed at Odokoyi area of the suspect says he specializes in defrauding POS operators with fake debit alerts. Let's join Richard Elesomi for more.
When Mrs. Folakemi Omotosho arrived at point of sale kiosk on Tuesday morning, little did she know that a suspected fraudster would branch for financial transaction. Moments later, the suspect arrived to withdraw 50,000 naira with his usual fake debit alert and ATM card, which always reads insufficient funds. But he ran out of luck when another POS operator swindled 50,000 naira around Arakale axis of the state capital last Saturday, identified him and raised the alarm.
Gate yóò ti gbá ní ọjọ́ Saturday pé òun ti rí wọ́n ti ń signal síra wọn bó ṣe wá ní pé kóun wọlé kóun lọ pé èèyàn jáde pé èèyàn tí ó gbà òun lélẹ́yìí káwọn èèyàn tó jáde ó ti gba ẹ̀yìn bíi lọ bá ṣe gbé bike àwa méjèèjì mo wá ní ìwọ gba Òkè Ìjẹ̀bú o kémi gba Akọ́sílẹ̀ kí gba ibẹ̀ wọlé bá ṣe bá ní 2nd Street ìyẹn ní Akọ́sílẹ̀ bá ṣe bá ní.
Mrs. Omotosho, when she inserted his ATM card into the terminal machine, it read insufficient funds, and upon checking the balance, the total money in the account was 48 kobo.
Bóun fẹ́ gba 50,000 yẹn, so ó wá decline pé insufficient fund. Mo wá ní jẹ́ wo ṣé mo ní right àti check balance wá ní kò sí wàhálà pé kí n bá òun check balance ìgbà tá máa fi wò àwa bá 48 kobo ní inú account pé kò sí owó ní inú ATM ó wá ní wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe pé ẹ̀gbọ́n kan fẹ́ ṣe transfer sí òun pé bóyá owó yẹn ò tí ì wọlé.
She said the suspect was handed over to operatives. Famotekun Corps confessed to specializing in defrauding POS operators in the state capital. Efforts to speak with Commander of Famotekun Corps at the time of filing this report was not successful, as it was said to be at a high-level security meeting. Richard Ilesomi, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Union of Pensioners Ondo State chapter has dismissed a media report credited to it that it plans to drag Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu to court over 68 billion naira accumulated pension and gratuities. Chairman of the union, Johnson Oshunyemi, in a chat with OSRC Richard Ilesomi, said the union never considered taking any legal action against the governor, contrary to what he called misrepresentation of fact. Oshunyemi said the senior citizens owe the governor a debt of gratitude for prioritizing payment of gratuities and pension, despite a shortfall in state allocation. The report.
The media space was last week awash with the reported plan of the Ondo State chapter of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners to drag Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu to court over 68 billion naira accumulated gratuity allegedly owed to the senior citizens. According to the report credited to Chairman of the Union, Johnson Oshunyemi, the legal action was inevitable following the continuous denial of their entitlements. But in a chat with OSRC, Johnson Oshunyemi explained that contrary to the report, it was the joint decision of the Southwest pensioners at the zonal level to drag their governors to court over unpaid pensions and gratuities. Oshunyemi said pensioners in Ondo State had never at any time considered suing Akeredolu over unpaid gratuities, emphasizing that the report was orchestrated to sever the union's relationship with the governor.
I was very seriously embarrassed by the publication because we never made any complaints about our governor. All that happened when we went to Ibadan was the entire chairman and secretaries of the Southwest were deliberating upon the non-implementation of the consequential adjustment in pensions for the pensioners, and that failing of their governors to implement would make them have a collective decision to take the governors to court. But they have not even arrived at a conclusion.
He said the governor has since assumption of office demonstrated profound commitment to the welfare of pensioners in the state, evident in the offsetting of 5 out of 6 pension arrears owed by the immediate past administration. Though admitted that the government can do more, Oshunyemi said it would be unfair for the union to threaten a legal action against the governor, whom they said releases 250 million naira monthly for payment of gratuities for state and local government pensioners.
250 million summed together for a year will total to about at least running to 3 billion naira. So if a governor can release 3 billion naira a year for the payment of gratuity, one would say such a governor has tried. I want to credit Akeredolu for implementing the 33% pension harmonization, which was expected to have been implemented about 11 years ago. But he came on board and he implemented everything. So what is the need what's the need for us now to say we want to take him to court?
While urging the public to disregard the report, the NUP chairman said the union will continue to use diplomatic means to resolve issues with government and to press home its demands. Richard Ilesomi, OSRC News.
For an excellent service which birthed positive results, the OSRC Group has honored the outgoing permanent secretary in charge of general administration, Mr. Mike Oshodi. Mr. Oshodi was a one-time administrative secretary of the OSRC Media Group and contributed to the repositioning of the corporation. As he draws the curtain on his meritorious career in the state civil service, the Media Group organized an event in celebration of his meritorious service and to acknowledge his hard work and dedication. Chairman of the Media Group, Mr. Kunle Adebayo, led staff members to shower encomium on the versatile administrator par excellence.
It was a joyous entry for Mr. Mike Oshodi to the Osrc Media Group, a place he has had 2 stints during his illustrious career in the Ondo State Civil Service. First in 1980 as an advert traffic officer in the State Civil Service as permanent secretary in charge of general administration, the Osrc Media Group organized an event in celebration of his meritorious service and dedication towards the repositioning of the corporation.
He's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow.
The chairman, Osrc Media Group, Mr. Kunle Adebayo, described Mr. Oshodi as a dependable ally who supported the management team in the actualization of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu's mandate to reform the corporation.
Mr. Oshodi will work, like the old secondary school games master. He will walk majestically like a snail, and his head turns right and left. By the time we meet the next morning, we say, "Okay, I have found a way out to that problem of yesterday." And one of the things he has done here is to support us in rewarding excellence. If you don't have support to your management system, part of it is
Various departments and staff who worked closely with Mr. Oshodi said his wealth of experience contributed to their success.
He is not a boss, but a leader who leads by example. To him, he believes that you are a failure if your subordinates fails or they are not able to deliver.
He introduced a lot of things to the system while here. The idea of a blue sheet, very, very important. There is no way you can raise a memo. There is no way you can bring up anything for management consideration. You must use the blue sheets.
When we have issues with our generators, you will see Mr. Oshodi, he will also be there. Sometimes you will think that he's even an engineer because he gives very vital information, very vital advice.
His mentorship imprint was also felt by younger colleagues who described him as a solution-oriented administrator.
If you are a young officer and you are meeting Mr. Oshodi for the first time, the first thing they ask you is, what is your qualification? If you say you have this, he will say no, you have to go for that.
This was the time that I moved with him before he left. As an administrator, he taught me how to, when you have to dress well.
Mr. Mike Oshodi, who was accompanied by his wife and staff at his office, appreciated the media group for honoring him, noting that the celebration was a wake-up call for everyone to approach their duties diligently.
Then we are taught to do things the way I was doing it here then. Sincerely speaking, I never thought that we are doing anything.
Was presented to him with prayers for more success in retirement as he officially bows out of service on March the 30th, 2022. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, the Ondo State government has called on all students' association to prioritize development of their alma maters, as government cannot do it alone. The State Commissioner for Education, Mr. Femi Agagu, spoke at the 65th and 66th anniversary of St. Catherine Anglican Girls Grammar School in our local government area of Ondo State. Osrc reporter Zima Biami covered the event and now reports.
There were nostalgic feelings of old students of St. Catherine Anglican Girls Grammar School or WAR came together after years of separation with exchange of greetings and banters, thanks to the 65th and 66th anniversary of the school that draws all students from within and outside the country. Addressing the gathering, Ondo State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Mr. Femi Agagu, represented by the Regional Education Officer or WAR local government, Mr. Olu Obajulaye, appreciated the old students for giving back to their alma mater. Agagu assured them of government continued support.
I know of parents, I know of all students that have the wherewithal to do good things, but they will never remember their foster mother. The school that has given to them, they don't remember to give back. But I'm happy today, Skoga has created a need for itself and is a force to reckon with in Ondo State today.
A special guest of honor on the occasion and Bishop of our Alicante Diocese, Right Reverend Stephen Fagbemi, also commended efforts of the old students towards educational development.
Because if the money is coming, the buildings are going on, but they are not doing their work to sustain the tempo and the quality of work, then we will not be delighted. But that they are responding by putting in more work, I think is commendable by all of us. And I want to say that on behalf of the Diocese of Owo, we will continue to support you. We are already present here. And of course, we are waiting on government to respond in our discussion, and that will guide us as to the next step forward.
The national president of the association, Mrs. Tola Awo, the principal of the school, Mrs. Agbede, and others applauded the association for bringing the needed development to the school.
If we look around, you will see that so many beautiful buildings, all renovated by the old girl, and I say thank you. It's either individuals, class sets, that are doing them.
These caring heart women did not only care for their baby girls alone, but also extended their care towards the teachers to work harder by giving gifts and cash to the teachers.
The old students, girls, in which they come together to deliberate, to re-strategize on what we have been doing, then to discuss on our way forward.
We should come together to see with our eyes what and how far we have gone in restructuring and rebuilding and bringing back the old glory of this great St. Catherine's Anglican Girls Grammar School.
The whole student association also called on Ondo State government to assist the association by fencing the school as female students need more protection. Moebiemi, Osrc News.
On our sports, angry Nigerian fans went wild at Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja following the inability of the Super Eagles to secure a ticket to the 2022 World Cup scheduled for Qatar. Nigeria missed out on one of the 5 African World Cup slots after playing a 1-1 draw in the second leg draw. In front of a packed stadium, Ghana advanced on away goal rule, having kept a clean sheet in the goalless draw at Kumasi last week. Osrc's Abiodun Adewale was at MKO Abiola Stadium in Abuja and captured moments before and after the game.
Under tight security, efforts to fill up the arena looked achievable with the atmosphere. Regardless of the number of Nigerians that were going to fill up the stands, there were still some spaces for few Ghanaian supporters. The atmosphere became more electrifying as soon as the players emanated from the dugout. Ghanaian supporters were outnumbered in the stands, but it was the Black Stars who silenced the home fans inside 10 minutes with a shocking lead courtesy of Arsenal man Thomas Partey. Nigerians needed a quick return from the penalty spot thanks to a lengthy VAR review. William Troost-Ekong stepped up and sent the arena into romp again. Before after out by the VAR, no goal and game. The second 45 minutes didn't offer much, and the Nigerian fans began the usual songs, a result that sent Ghana to the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar.
And a lot of people tip Nigeria to go to. But it's unbelievable what the guys have come here and have shown. They have shown that you don't need big players playing in big teams to get good results. They came here determined and against all odds. They got a result that has gotten Ghana to the World Cup. I'm so proud right now as a Ghanaian, and it's unbelievable.
Whenever Nigeria fails to qualify for the World Cup, it's not only the dreams of the players that are shattered. The dreams of every Nigerian football fan to watch their team at the highest level of international football is shattered. The dream of every sport journalist to cover the World Cup and how they're